Thank you. It's my pleasure to give my traditional annual update of what has been happening at the seL4 Foundation. So I'm here in my capacity at the foundation. So that's one of my hats. Quite briefly, what the seL4 Foundation is for, it's the home for the entire ecosystem, both the technology and the community itself. And we have as our aim to make sure that not only it is the world's best secure operating system technology, but it is readily deployable and with a strong ecosystem in the sense of technology, so tools and frameworks that can support a seL4 kernel itself, but also a vibrant and well-supported community. So these are our aims. To achieve that, we have two main bodies. On one hand, we have the technical steering committee, and on the other hand, the board. And both together, they're here to support both the technology and, well, the community. And I take the opportunity to thank Ryan here, who took that picture just minutes ago and was not on the picture himself. So yeah, thank you very much. So the technical steering committee is led by Gerwin here, and most of the members are in this room, I believe. And they're pretty much looking after everything that is technical. So allowing the community to contribute while safeguarding the design principle and the assurance level that we have about the kernel and the associated technology that the foundation maintains. On the other hand, what the board is looking at very broadly is how to invest the revenue that is coming to the foundation through the memberships, and how to invest it in a way that achieves the goal I just mentioned, to support the technology and the community. So I'll briefly go through those two aspects, what have been happening in the last year. So I'll mention 5 main points for the technical steering committee. The first one is the seL4 release that had not been happening for a while, that happened now in July. And one important note is that it came with also a release of Rust and MicroKit and CamKISS and CapDL, which are all technology that have now been hosted at the foundation and start to represent the fact that it becomes an ecosystem of technologies more than just the kernel. The second aspect here is the support. I'll come back in the second part of the talk, but we had a lot of contribution from 2 key people in particular. One is Nick Spinale, which is one of the co-chair here, and you've heard from him on the Rust support, and you'll hear more tomorrow from him as well. And so that has been one of the key elements to support that user-level infrastructure, to have some assurance level at the user level as well. And the second key participant here is Inden here. If you don't know Inden, so he is here. He's been also contributing, helping a lot the technical steering committee, both with pull requests and providing expertise for requests for comments, answering mailing lists, doing specific seL4 development, so on and so forth. So this has been really helpful, both to support, again, the technology and the community. A third aspect on the website and doc side, some small improvements, but there is a larger projects ongoing, and I hope you'll hear more about that at the coming summit, but this is going on in the background. Fourthly, we have heard this morning that we have more verified platforms. So in the long list of platforms that seL4 can run on, our aim is to have as many of those verified, and so quite a lot of progress since the last summit in that front. And finally, we had 2 TSC meetings, technical steering committee meetings, and this is where the requests for comments from the community for new features or new ideas, technological ideas, are discussed and potentially accepted by the technical steering committee members. So in a nutshell, this is what is happening on the technical side, with more development, more verification, more support for both the seL4 and, as I said, the technology that are becoming an ecosystem of technologies. And then on the governing board side of things, so this is led by Gernot here with a number of people. I've put again as the first item the support that I already mentioned for Nick and Inden, because this was a strategic decision from the board to invest in more support for both user LAN and the low-level development and expertise, so that would provide more value to the ecosystem in terms of both the technological side and answering the mailing list and so on. A second aspect in which the board decides to invest some of the revenues is in the infrastructure, and in particular we have some boards that have continuous integration and seL4 tested in a server room at UNSW, so we're investing in making sure that this is maintained, and we're also adding more boards to widen the scope of available boards that are continuously tested. A third aspect is the summit, so here today, and we have actually a record registration this year, which is great. Obviously, on one hand, we have, as Gernot mentioned, a lot of local people here, but for everyone else, it's the other side of the planet, which for everyone here is the experience every time. But anyway, so it's a good balance there, but really happy with the registration numbers here, but also very happy with the sponsorship. And I know they've been thanked this morning, but I'd like to add my personal thanks to all the sponsors. Again, this allows not only to add visibility to those organizations that support seL4 and that you can go, and I encourage you to talk to all of them. And in particular, you have some demos from Crichton at the back. Please go and have a look. But also, obviously, it supports financially the foundation in being able to have those events that are really key for our community, because this is where we meet, we network, we hear about each other's work and be able to progress as a community. In terms of membership, we had three new members since last time. So one of them is Apple, which doesn't need any introduction, but really key to have their support in their name here. And then the two other ones are academic organizations, so the University of Kansas and the Lewis and Clark College, which you just heard about. And both of them have been working with seL4 for a number of years, so it's really nice to have them on board as well. And finally, the board is investing in some of my time and some of amazing Berg's time over there to make sure that everything runs smoothly and that we can have that things happen in the background without even you noticing. So again, overall, our main goal is to make sure that the community feels supported, and that then, while being supported, can push that agenda and vision of having verified software wherever it makes sense, so in deployed system when they're in safety or critical environment. And I really hope you're going to get a lot of that through that summit. So you're going to hear just after me from Boyd over there about seL4 in real systems. You're going to hear from our keynote on Thursday about seL4 being in cars on the road today. So all this is great. And so our role is just to make sure that we do everything we can to support that in the background. And that's pretty much it for the two sides. I'll just leave you with one note. We've repeated that quite a bit, but I just want to say that it is, yes, an open source and free to use technology. It doesn't mean it's free to maintain and make sure it keeps being developed. So it needs to be supported by the user adopters, which means joining the seL4 Foundation. I keep saying that it's not only the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. It's the right thing to do because it should be part of your business case when you decide to go with open source technology, that it's not completely free. Actually, the membership is the thing that you should do when you use open source technology. But it's also the smart thing to do because that is what ensures that there is still development and that there is a stable and bright future for seL4. So if you're not a member, go on to Google seL4 Foundation, join here. I'll leave you on that. Happy to take any questions or leave more time for Boyd. Either way, thank you very much.